much better. Peace, peace. It's Shameka coming at you today live and direct from the rest. Today I want to build real quick, and I want to build on understanding knowledge and actually living out the culture truly, and understanding the freedom that comes with living out the culture. So, I see a lot of people on Facebook, and they have like this like over zealous, this over righteous undertone, and it's like every time you hear them express themselves, it's like they have this authoritative undertone. So it's like, trust me, I know better than you do. Rather than, how about I could teach you so you can feel as confident as I do about knowing what it is that you want to do, whatever situation is presented to you. So oftentimes I find that I really see a lot of us really do lack the understanding of the knowledge that we do have, because oftentimes it really doesn't take, doing something, as far as a major event to really communicate, your thoughts to the babies. They everywhere. Walk outside your door, they everywhere. And it's like we so dedicated to everything else other than what we should be, and I can't even front, There are times where I know I slacked on something, but do you continue to slack or do you fix that? We all human. We want to take that road, we all human, yeah. We make mistakes or whatever, but like, seriously, how long do we continue to make the same mistakes? I see a lot of females who got a good job. They got nice cars. Their house is, really nice. But their babies, oh, that's a totally different story. You know what I mean? So it's like, do you really understand what you have here? You have tomorrow's future. You know what I mean? You have our future, and you choose to disregard and do what you want. So you having money really isn't beneficial at all, because even though, the babies have what they need, as far as in a material sense, they lack in everything else. You know what I mean? Mommy go out every night. You know what I'm saying? Mommy get high every night. Mommy get drunk every night. Whatever the situation may be. You know what I'm saying? If that takes up more time, and I guess I at times when I speak on things, I come into certain realizations myself, because sometimes you gotta look at other people's situation and say to yourself that I'm not only looking at their situation to be judgmental, but there's a way to look at things and weigh your options and say, okay, well, if I choose to remain like this, being that I've done that, this is what the end result is going to be. However, if I choose to say, okay, I was at fault, I understand that, I know that, I can now move forward. And I'm free of all this conscious restraint, that can consume people, because now all of a sudden, now look here, perfect example. Yesterday, I'm riding up the street with my daughters. We're going school shopping. And, we looking out the car, looking through the windows, and we had a light at that. There's a female on there with a bunch of other people on the porch, and of course she want to call me out a bitch, and I'm like, ain't nobody even looking at you. Like, are you serious? And it's like, you see all three of my daughters in the back seat, and you still decided to call me out my name. Now, had I been by myself, I probably would have took a different approach and probably would have said something. Probably not to the extent that she did, but I definitely would have tried to let her know that her ignorance pales in comparison to my intelligence. You understand what I'm saying? So what I did, continued to drive and explain to my daughters the different outcomes that could have came out of me coming out the car and telling her, well, who you calling a bitch? I'll knock you the fuck out. I got my daughters in the car. That could have been an end result. You know what I mean? However, I chose not to do that. I got queens in the car. They got to know, and they have to understand. They have to know how it is they are expected to conduct themselves outside. It's not we just, act like queens in the house, or outside, and then once we come home, we let everything go. It's a wrap. It's done. All that queen stuff, we leave it at the door. That's for everybody outside. No. No. It starts at home. And if your daughters ain't walking around acting like queens and the rest, then you can best believe that they're not acting like queens outside. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I had to restrain and refrain because I do have a temper and I do lack patience when it comes to that ignorant mess. However, I'm teaching. Every move I make is a lesson for them because they looking up to me. I'm the only female presence they have in the home, and I'm teaching them how to be a woman. I'm the biggest example. So if I don't understand myself, what it is I need to know to be that great example for them, then I can't be that person to live a cultured life to where I can present them with tools they need to utilize these skills. I can't do that if I'm not coaching myself. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm not refining myself, yeah, sometimes I let loose with the curses. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's something I have to work on. However, if that's how you carry a conversation, there's a major problem with that. You know what I'm saying? There's a major problem with that because expressions come in many forms, and it doesn't always have to come out in the form of ignorance. So, that's another thing that we need to really build on is like the hate for no reason. Like, we don't even understand why we hate each other. We don't even know why we hate each other. And that's why right now there's no culture out here in our neighborhoods because there's no unity, there's no unison, there's nothing that we want to do together because we so busy being separated. I got this and you ain't got that, so you ain't on my level and you can't ever get on my level. Rather than saying, yo, you ain't got that, but I got it. Let me show you how I got it so you can get it too. There's a total difference out here. You know what I'm saying? So if the people who claiming to be righteous are playing pretend, you know what I'm saying? Then, it leaves them at a disadvantage. It leaves them at a disadvantage, and it's really heartbreaking to see stuff like that because it's like, damn, you know the truth and you just choose to manipulate the truth. Like, why? Rather than say, yo, you know what? I could extend this to my brother or sister, and we could build and live happily, beautifully with each other, amongst each other. You know what I mean? We got babies that are like 5 years old that'll tell you, fuck you, suck my dick. Who talks like that? Gotta be their mother or their father, right? Because when my babies started cursing at a young age, it was because of me and my mouth. They heard me going in. So they was like, what? I'm gonna do the same thing when I get pissed because that's how I relate. That's what my mommy taught me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? We got to learn to be accountable, too. You know what I'm saying? We got to definitely learn to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? And that accountability factors, it comes in when you start to understand that what you know isn't everything there is that you need to know. You know what I'm saying? There's always more. There's always another stepping stone. There's always another level. There's always another goal to reach. You know what I mean? And sometimes we just get into a state where we get stagnant and we just sit dormant and we don't realize the capacity, the intelligence, the truth, everything that we could bring to light, that we could bring to these people is just sitting here doing absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? That's like having a brand new freaking Benz out front of the house. You could take it anywhere and you just letting it sit. All you gotta do is get the gas and put the keys in there and put the pedal to the metal. It's only a few steps you gotta take. You know what I mean? To make this thing an accessible thing that you can take with you anywhere. And it's sitting right out there and you're just letting it sit. That's how I feel about people who got that knowledge and don't build. And don't teach these babies. And who choose to remain in that mind frame of an 85er. You know what I'm saying? You say you're righteous, but you're still living like an 85er. You know what I'm saying? I'm still making swift changes. I'm still learning things that I didn't know yesterday. Didn't know last week. You know what I mean? So it's like we gotta definitely stop thinking that once we reach a certain level, we on a superior note where you can't see me. You know what I mean? The whole point of us building is so that we could deal on an equal plane. So I want you to see me because I want to see you too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's get it. And let's get it together. You know what I mean? Right now I'm upset with the school system because they're trying to tell me my daughter, she got to be left a year behind. Not failed, but she's got to be, the process that they're going to make her go through is basically going to leave her a year behind of kids who are her age. So I feel that's going to leave her academically challenged. However, I want to make sure that doesn't happen. You know? And it's like, I'm upset. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why people don't take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is serious. Everything that we give our babies, they eating it, they digesting it, and they just swallowing it whole. So if I don't give my babies a fight, or I don't teach my babies how to be respectful, mindful, humble, real, be builders, you know, no matter who's around you, you remain true to yourself. If I don't teach them that, they ain't going to get it nowhere else. So it's like, what do we do about our problems? Okay, now you understand what's been put before you. Now you know what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So what you going to do to get to that point where you could be good and be free of all this madness? Now, I mean, I'm cutting people off left and right all the time, and it's not because I'm not aware of what's going on in my cipher. It's because I'm aware that I'm changing, and I'm understanding everything that's going on a lot better than what I did before when I looked at things. You know what I mean? And I just had a conversation where I said, you know, where you stand has a lot to do with your perception. So you may see the same thing as I did. However, I caught a different glance of it than you did. So what I saw was different than you. You know what I mean? So how I construe that to the world is going to be different than you, because you saw a totally different aspect of that than I did. And that's life, period. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give it to get it, period, point blank. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Understanding who you are is vital. So once you understand who you are, you know what you need to do for yourself. And you could remain cultured mentally, physically, emotionally, to a point where you know what it is you how you exist, how you should be existing, how those around you should be existing. You know that. You know what I mean? And you live it out every day. And it's not, you know what I mean? It's not for, oh, yo, I could go and get up in the rally and get love. Because, nah, know your shit. Know what you talking about. Stop fronting. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all be fronting. I'm not even going to play. A lot of y'all be fronting. And then I be hearing about people getting called out, and I'm laughing every day because I'm like, I don't do this for show. I don't need to go and rally up with people just to shoot the gift of gab and then not do shit about it. You know what I mean? What y'all doing? Y'all standing around talking. So what's the point? I don't need to see y'all do that. You know what I mean? I don't need to see y'all try to get at each other about who don't know what lessons, rather than saying, yo, brother, you need me to sit down and teach you. You know what I mean? What's good with that? Nah, y'all don't do that shit. Y'all always trying to beef and do. I don't want to hear all that. I want to see builders build, and all that other shit, leave it at home. You know what I mean? So, like I said, understand what you're dealing with so you can know what you need to do for yourself and free your mind, and the rest will truly follow. Believe that. Peace.